Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the critically acclaimed Pop the Trunk podcast, now Patreon exclusively sponsored Hall of Fame. Recency Bias Radio here on this Sunday morning to provide you all with another live feeds update, breaking down another Jared, aka the Black Mamba, HOH reign. You know, in this 26th rant of the season entitled Igniting for Izzy, we got to break down it all. We got to break down how Cory and Applebees got lemon booty as soon as Jared won the HOH wall comp endurance. They didn't think that was coming. Their stands didn't think that was coming. And please believe they're grasping at straws once again, trying to not give this black man credit for winning another comp. You know, their faves can't buy a comp win. Their faves claimed trying your hardest in an endurance comp automatically makes you a winner technically. That's what Applebees was saying in her edit. That's what Cory was saying in their edit. Because Jared didn't last that long in Pressure Cooker, and because they lasted longer but didn't win, they somehow have some participation trophy we all should hold near and dear. Well, now when Jared wins in actual endurance comp that actually counted, now they're once again trying to discount that and claim it's not rooted in anti-blackness. Please have a seat. Understand here, ladies and gentlemen, we got to discuss that. We got to discuss Jared's philosophy as the HOH this week. We got to discuss how Cory and Applebees, their plan to initiate a black trauma blindside backfired on them because Jared applied pressure to Cory Thursday afternoon before the Thursday eviction of Izzy. Understand, if you're a patron, you know all too well during the 10K celebration stream, which we all believed would be a marathon because it was another endurance comp, I broke down all of that and more, and we got into a true AmeriCory roast. So if you can't stand AmeriCory, become a patron today and enjoy that rant. The streets will tell you that 2 a day was legendary on Thursday. But understand here, ladies and gentlemen, we got to break down it all because Jag has won the power of veto. A lot of moving pieces right now on the chessboard this week, and there's a lot of ways this veto ceremony can still go depending on how Cameron implements gameplay today on Sunday. And this is why, among other things, I wanted to get this rant out to you because I've been notified that Sunday night's episode tonight won't air until like 10 p.m. Y'all ain't got time like that. A lot of y'all got work in the morning. Let me give y'all this live feeds update as soon as possible. So this is why I'm here as early as I am. And on this Sunday, it's only right that the congregation wants me to deliver one more sermon. So get yourself a cold beverage and kick your feet up because we about to go in once again. First things foremost, thank you so much. Anyone who has ever played a role in helping me achieve 10,000 subscribers, this one's for you. Anyone who's ever liked or shared a video, this one's for you. Thank you.
Words? Thank you for support.
And you know I got the LFC kid on, so it's only right that I drop that soundbite. But now let's get into the strategy. Because AmeriCory stands, you all have showed yourselves to be quite unstable, right? 2 weeks ago when Jared was HOH, you tried to get him ejected and Cameron. Last week, all y'all did was wax lyrical about how all of y'all all of a sudden saw how redeemable Cameron was because in your minds, he was playing anti-black and that's what you wanted. Now all of a sudden, when it's time, because understand, these same fans claimed all they wanted was good gameplay, good feeds. That was their excuse to cover up the anti-blackness initially. So let's hold them to the narrative they wanted us to remember. Because what they don't want us to do is remember what they said from week to week, remember? They like to come up with a new narrative and hope we forget by distracting us with a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. But I remember what matters, and that's why they don't like me. Understand, these were the same fans who tried to put us under the assumption that this wasn't rooted in anti-blackness. They wanted Izzy gone, who's not black. They wanted the black player to stay, who is black. So this isn't anti-black, even though they wanted Cirie's game to be completely derailed, who was playing the best game as a black person. They want us to believe none of this was anti-black. Okay, cool. Well, why this week, now that Jared has won HOH, after Cory engaged in a fight that made absolutely no sense for Cory's game? Cory looked like a spoiled, rotten rat trying to justify why he turned on black folks, and then he's trying to gaslight black people into believing it's their fault why he's anti-black now. The same fans that supported Cory for that fight when he clearly got dog walked because, once again, Jared had nothing to lose. He was already screwed. Cory had a plenty to lose. He was in the best position by screwing Jared. His whole argument in the fight with Jared is, oh, you, Cirie, Felicia, and Izzy, all of y'all get to be in all these alliances. You're playing the middle, right? Well, that's the funny part, Cory, because I told this to fans last week. The reason why I actually supported you in wanting Izzy to stay is because I saw you still had your brain on your head. But the truth is, because that girl next to you keeps rubbing you off underneath the sheets so much, you're losing your head because you're losing all of the natural ingredients you need to think clearly within this game. Right now, she is literally milking you, you dummy. She's milking you, and you can't even tell. See, when you're dealing with a guy who's unused to being with women, all they got to do is give you a few sexual favors, and you'll do whatever they say because you're the wimpy simp. But I don't want to lose my point here. Understand, Cory tried so hard to ruin the games of Jared and Cirie in that argument. But their games were already ruined because Cory had all the numbers, right? So he had no reason to have to justify himself. He felt the need to justify himself because he was trying to bait Jared into punching him. Let's not forget all of these narratives. He said he was scared to confront Jared because Jared would punch him after the blindside. Only after Jared was smart enough to be able to extract that information out of Matt by throwing out a lie that Jag already said it, only then did Cory want to come clean before the vote because Cory realized he was in trouble because the jig is up. So understand, Cory didn't confront Jared because he's some man, because he's some fearless warrior defending his woman's honor. He confronted Jared because he was terrified of the idea that other people in the alliance could have told Jared what was up before he did when he's supposed to be the one doing that. Because didn't Jared do that for him, which made him appear like a great player? Follow me here. Jared has empowered this little guy to feel like, with this Napoleon complex, to feel like he is that guy. But you'll never be that guy because you showed your true colors towards Jared, which showed how you'll do anyone else in that house who witnessed that. Because if you'll do your final two like you did Jared, why would you trust Jag? Why would you trust Matt? You've been after both of them up until this week. Now all of a sudden they're supposed to trust you'll be loyal to a final five to the end of the world? You played yourself here. But that's the thing. Cory was jealous of Jared's position. He wanted to be Jared. He was jealous of Jared's mouthpiece with Blue. He was jealous of the fact that they could be a showmance in the house. They could literally get it in, woo out the bam, and they could just blend right in. Cory wanted that for him and Applebees. This is why Cory pushed so hard for that two-showmance alliance. But when Riley was around, he didn't push hard for a three-showmance alliance, which further shows Cory never really wanted all these showmans around. He wanted him and Applebees to take center stage because Cory knows he looks awkward with this girl. He does. But with that said, Cory now, after disposing of Izzy, he has ignited the chosen one. He has ignited the legacy. He has ignited Jared the Black Mamba. By him trying to get big, talk all loud, by him trying to bait Jared into getting louder, bait Jared into punching him, Cory showed us his true colors. You can say whatever you want about Izzy not making jury. Izzy will have respect from the black community the rest of her life, something Cory will never be able to even buy the rest of his life. And he won't truly grasp what that means until he's in a position where he needs black people. We want the smoke. So understand, Cory made an enemy not only of Jared, but of black America. The only black fans that really like Cory are the black fans that don't really like Cirie. That needs to be stated. That needs to put on the table. Anyone who truly likes Cirie and likes Jared will never rock with Cory or Applebees. So, Cory basically fights with Jared to defend Applebees, but in the process of fighting with Jared to defend her, and I hope the edit tonight backs up Jared's perspective because he's the HOH production. If you have Cory's side in this fight, we're going to know you've taken Cory's side all season now because that's basically the edit you've been pushing. You have given Izzy no type of edit, but you've given Cory the most immaculate edit. It's disgusting to the average fan. But let's put that to the side as well, right? At the end of the day, coach, no matter how you shake it, Cory literally did all of this. He literally swapped positions with Applebees because when him and Applebees were in for real, Applebees was the one that didn't trust it because she had no relationships in that alliance. Cory literally traded that alliance where he had all the connections. He was cool with Izzy at one point. He was cool with Jared. He was cool with Cirie. He had connections to so many people, and he's cool with America. So he had connections to at least, 3 out of the 7, right? Or 4 out of the 7, depending on how you choose to look at it. Now Cory has traded that in for a lemon at Automax. You feel it, dig me? Like, what are you doing, coach? He trades it in for a worse vehicle, hoping that vehicle will take him to the end. So now, Matt and Jag, who you've been after all season, you want to align with them just to appease Applebees. And now the alliance you're in with Bowie, Matt, Jag, and Applebees, and of course that you are in, the 5, let's keep it real here in these streets. All of those relationships outside of Bowie Jane, Applebees is closer to than you. So for the girl that you basically just met, you've thrown away a position in which you were in control so she could be in control. And in the process of that, you engaged in an argument and fight with a black man, which did nothing but showcase the fire in you, which did nothing but showcase how much you've been throwing comps, which did nothing but showcase how you've been lying to him for weeks, which did nothing but showcase the fact that you projected all of your insecurities about the black man. You have showcased the fact that you are the same exact entity you claim Jared and Cirie were. The only difference is you're the one with white privilege, so you're the one fans actually love for it. Digest that for a second, y'all. Cory doesn't realize how much he benefits from being a little white boy on this show. If a black dude played just like him, he would be labeled a coward. He would be labeled spineless, especially if he betrayed other black people for some girl. Oh, he would get clowned left and right. But see, that's the thing. Cory wasn't held to the expectations of Jared while being rooted for more than Jared. It makes no sense. How can Jared have all these expectations while being rooted for none of the time, while getting no credit for any of the comps he wins over Cory or Applebees? How can all these things happen at once if there isn't any anti-blackness on full display? People aren't making any sense. And see, this brings me to the AmeriCory stance. You all played yourselves. 2 weeks ago, you tried to get the black man ejected, claiming he was an ableist. That was the rhetoric y'all used. Well, now you have AmeriCory stands, now that Jared has nominated America and Cory, rightfully so, by the way. Something that, in my opinion, he should have did 2 weeks ago, because I saw 3 weeks ago that Cory was trying to dry snitch on everyone black to Cameron the first HOH reign. But once again, the edit in Cory want us to believe, oh, I turned because Izzy and Jared stopped giving me information. Shut up. That's not why you turned, because you wanted to turn 3 weeks ago. You're a cap. You're a cap artist, and we've caught you clocked. But understand, the AmeriCory stands, they're so butthurt about the fact that they're on the block, right? The same people who were so quick to complain over a word being used, you know, the same people who for 20 years didn't mind the N-word being used during 15 or during 21, now all of a sudden they care about words, right? Understand this. Now we have AmeriCory stands online saying this, as if they don't remember the narrative they used 2 weeks ago. I say this with all sincerity. If you actively dislike Applebees or Cory, I genuinely worry that you're mentally unwell. That is zero reason to dislike them. There is zero reason to dislike them. Pardon me. First of all, you're not black. You can't tell black people how to feel about anti-black people. That's number one. Number two, y'all claimed it wasn't okay to diagnose someone as having mental problems. Y'all said that about Jared when he said a comment y'all don't even have on video to prove he's even said. You can come out with a tweet and get over 200 likes, implying a whole fan base is mentally unwell just because they don't agree with your narratives built around white privilege. But y'all trying to convince me this isn't rooted in anti-blackness. You literally just walked into a trap, James Alt. You walked into one. And the amount of quote retweets you're getting coming at your head, I see it in you. I see the energy. Now you want to play the victim just like Cory. You want to talk big stuff. You want to be a big boy. But then when you're held accountable like a big boy, then you want to go back to being a little munchkin. Well, this isn't Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, coach. Huh? It isn't. You're going to get this smoke from the entire black community.
Want the smoke.
Oh, yeah, we going to talk it tonight. We going to talk. It's Sunday. I'm delivering, all right? Understand. So, we got Amira Cory stands coming out the woodwork this week after 2 weeks ago claiming the black man can't say anything that implies you're mentally unstable. Now they're saying it's perfectly fine to call every black fan who are justified in their dislike of America and Cory after they out of their own mouth use microaggressions towards the black man, out of their own mouth said they don't rock with anyone black. Now they're saying if we don't like them, something's wrong with us in our heads. So in other words, we have to have Stockholm Syndrome. I'm looking at you, Taryn. We have to have a certain amount of plausible deniability here to be dumb enough as black people to not believe what we see, and we should just believe what the white man sees. That's what James is saying. Hey, just believe my interpretation, like who I like. That would make this game great again. Let's all just like the same players. That will make Big Brother great. Bro, you stands need
Get a job. Get a job.
Because I ain't never in my life ever said, if you don't like Jared, if you don't like Cirie, something's wrong with you in your head. But that lets me know the desperation of your fan base. It started to get to you seeing that couple on the block. It started to get to you. And then when Cameron gets picked for veto, y'all start to lose your head more. What was the timing of this tweet? 10:34 p.m. yesterday. That was after it was confirmed for a fact that Jared would nominate Cory in America. So understand, this is the reaction we get to a black man playing smart. If you don't like them, you're unwell. Meanwhile, if Cory and America play anti-black, these same people quick to diagnose your mental stability will be the same ones going, yeah, let's bring the Stone Age back, my favorite era. I rest my case. But see, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because once again, these same fans 3 weeks ago tried to justify Applebees, claiming she was uncomfortable with Cameron. These same stands claimed it's perfectly fine if a woman is okay with a man but loves to spend time with him. In other words, Stockholm Syndrome is perfectly normal and perfectly understandable for a woman to have in today's society. Even though we're in a society that tells women do not stay in any toxic relationship no matter what, we have people who have never been in any relationships that I know of, especially straight ones. They're the ones trying to tell us how straight relationships should go. It's like, wait a minute. A lot of y'all are so miserable, you clearly don't have anyone, but now all of a sudden you're experts on how relationships work? How does that work? You have too much free time on your hands to have a relationship, coach. I gotta be honest with you. All right, stop the cap. You're not an expert on this either. But we got a lot of people acting like they're Casanovas all of a sudden just to defend one of the cringiest showmances in all existence. Stop the nonsense. So understand, people justified Applebees trying to say she was uncomfortable with Cameron. I saw Mimi late at night having a conversation with Jared about this exact same conversation. There are players in that game, in that house, black players who see how problematic Applebees is and how she moves. And they don't even know about her comments about black people. So picture that. Imagine that. See, this isn't some, oh, y'all are just looking for something to be outraged about. Nah, that's you stands that like that couple. See, us, the black fans, I can only speak for the black fans. We are looking for things that justify the idea that this couple's problematic. And the more y'all try to defend this problematic couple, the more you tell us about yourselves. So continue doing what you got to do. But don't call us mentally unwell just because we're too smart to fall for your propaganda now. Understand, this ain't BB24, baby. This a whole new world. And this brings me to Applebees, because she claimed she was uncomfortable with Cameron. Then last week, Cameron finally starts to play ball with her. Cory clearly can see that Applebees has more sexual chemistry with Cameron than she will ever have with him. You got to understand, another reason why Cory flipped, it had nothing to do with all these other narratives. It had to do with the fact that he was worried Applebees would run to Cameron if he did not put his foot down and turn on Izzy. He literally decided, I'm willing to trade my great position, hand it to you, Applebees, but in exchange, I want to get 100% of all of your little butterfly kisses the rest of the season. What kind of beta plays like that? What kind of super fan plays like that? I rest my case. See, it's all about how you tell this story. And see, the Cory in America stands, they want to tell it as if, oh, it's so romantic. This man is such a simp. He threw away his game for this girl. I hope they get married. This ain't gonna last. Once Cory gets out of this house and realize how much America ruined his game, once he gets out of this house and realize how much he's for the streets, he ain't never gonna want nothing serious with this girl. And then it's gonna really set in how much he threw away his dream for this girl. The Scorpion King analogy. But anyway, so Applebees, this girl is so tone deaf, okay? It's bad enough you're about to touch the block with Cory because you hurt Cory's game. If you would have allowed Cory to play it smart last week, in all likelihood, there's a chance here Cory and Applebees both don't touch the block this week. Maybe Applebees still touches it, but not Cory next to her. But Cory, he didn't care about that because in his mind, he stays over Applebees. It's as if Cory doesn't realize the same logic behind why Izzy needed to go is why he needs to go. And that's why I'm hoping, Cory, by the end of this week, you get taken out because these players wisen up. The same way all these fans were hoping Izzy would go because players would play smarter, I hope they take you out too for the same reason. But I notice your fans don't want you taken out for the same reason they wanted Izzy out, which further proves they wanted Izzy out because she was pro-black, because she was the key for a BBUS. Follow me here, because if that logic is not being applied to Cory by these same stands, then they're clearly the ones that are biased. Because last week they were singing a completely different tune. And for all the people saying, oh, well, Jared's dumb for winning this because he'll be a target during the double. He was a target anyway. That's why black fans are celebrating his W, because it's clutch. You're not going to get us to be doom and gloom during a black HOH week. We're going to enjoy these 7 days because we know right now y'all are miserable during these 7 days. But understand, Applebees got exposed. Now let's read this together, ladies and gentlemen. Cory said, we have to find a way for Cameron to use the veto if he plays and wins it. You know what America said to Cory's face? I'll just make out with him. But y'all keep trying to convince me she's not sexually attracted to Cameron more than Cory. This is the same girl who went out of her way to clown Cory on live feeds for being a bad kisser, and right in front of his face she's saying she's willing to kiss another man. But what does Cory the cuck do? Oh, he sits right there and he goes, I'll do whatever you want, Applebees. You're the man in this relationship. Exposed. And then as soon as they get nominated, I see them on feeds. They're rubbing and tugging it under the sheets in the cut right there in the bed. And then they have the nerve to say, Jared is so spiteful. He's so spiteful. Oh, so the Black Trauma blindside y'all was planning wasn't spiteful, but all of a sudden him clapping back because you did him wrong is spiteful? Your privilege is showing. It's showing right now. These two have to be the biggest whiners, the biggest moaners for two floaters I have ever seen. Neither one of them could ever hack it on the challenge. They'd get stumped out. Neither one of them could hack it on any other show. They needed this specific show with 5 white men, 4 white women, no black masculinity outside of Jared. They needed the perfect storm. So I must ask once again, how rigged can this show truly be for Cirie? Because even Cirie sees this anti-black strategy isn't in her best interest, and even she's a bit checked out. Because don't nobody black of a certain age want to deal with none of this high school drama. They ain't got time for it. And say whatever you want. Cirie made this season. She brought credibility to this season. Everyone wanted Cirie to get humbled. Well, now that Izzy's gone, even the AmeriCorey stands will admit feeds are boring now. They're boring. Be careful what you wish for, because now the asylum is being ran by the idiots. Now the asylum's being ran by the floaters. And whenever you have a house being ran by floaters, it's gonna get boring because floaters just want to play it safe. So right now we have a scenario where Cory should be the target, but a lot of people don't want to take him out. They want to take out Cameron instead. Why would I take out a guy by himself in this game? I don't care how many counts he can win, he's by himself. Cory literally has Applebees and a Showmance. He's part of a 5-person alliance over here. He's trying to fake it like he's pro-black when it's convenient with Mimi over there. Literally, Cory is the same person they claimed Izzy was, the entire house. So why doesn't Jag, Matt, and Blue see this and say we need to whack Cory first? I just don't get it. Yeah, y'all might have a problem with Cameron that stems back from Riley, but let's not forget, Cory did Riley dirty just like Cameron did. And right now, you're allowing this little pipsqueak, this little punk, you're allowing him to skate by again just because of his stature. But that fight with Jarrett should have opened up the floodgates to why he needs to go home sooner than later, especially now that the jury is 7 players, not 9. I would want to split up both Showmances if I was in that house. But why is it that Jarrett needs to go so badly when you now know he has less connections, but Cory gets to get protected with more connections? It once again showcases that alliance over there, at this point, they're just anti-black because they're unwilling to even see the logic in why Cory needs to go this week. That's not a testament to Cory's great game. That's a testament to once you get the ball rolling towards anti-black strategy, it is a type of strategy that is very hard for any black person to reverse because it's so easy for people to continue to do. Just look at the fan base when it comes to bashing Jarrett now. It's the easiest thing for them to do, and they always scrape the bottom of the barrel with the low-frequency commentary. So, we have Apple Cory stands now doing the same things they claimed a player should be ejected for doing. They're doing it now this week because they're butthurt. We have Applebees saying it to Cory's face that after he fought with Jarrett to defend her honor, she is now saying she would make out, she would kiss, she would give that tongue. She would be completely
She belongs to
for the streets if it came to Cameron winning veto, so he would use it on her. And Cory has no problem with none of that. Understand, and we also have the same community now that claimed Jarrett couldn't win anything unless it was handed to him. Now they're saying because Bowie Jane threw it, it was rigged. Well, because Bowie Jane threw it, he won by default. So he beat your faves outside of Bowie Jane, but now the narrative is all of your faves threw it. So why would Cory throw a comp after fighting with Jarrett? That makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are creating narratives that don't even add up just to defend people who clearly are bad at competitions. Clearly bad at competitions. Y'all literally stand a bunch of flops. And you can say whatever you want about Jarrett. Jarrett's back was against the wall, and he stepped up. And see, that's the funniest part, right? If Cory would have did that fight with Jarrett and then backed that up with an HOH win, these same fans would say, Cory is the best. Look at him. He stood up to Jarrett and then he won the endurance HOH. Oh my God. Applebees is so proud of him. This is truly a dope showmance. They'll really last. But then when Jarrett wants to smoke with Cory, dog walks him 1v1, and then backs that up with an HOH win, all of a sudden, radio silence. But you know, recency bias radio will never be silent, and that's why they're truly angry. So understand, you got Applebees out here flirting with the idea of sleeping with Cameron at this point, hence why I want Cory gone this week. I want Cory to be forced to be sent home this week. I want Cameron to make jury with Applebees, and I want him to have to experience the torture of knowing his girl used him. He threw away his great position for her, and now she's being dug out by Cameron in sequester. It would be the funniest fall from grace story of all time. But honestly, Cory, it's what you deserve, because I don't care what no one says, you're a goofy. You're a complete goofy. So you got to understand, outside of this, which I'm sure a lot of y'all wanted me to discuss, which I did in great detail, Blue Kim is also beginning to play both sides a bit. She flirted with the idea of telling Jag Jarrett's secret. Right? Now, she didn't tell Jag really what the secret was, but she just implied he told her a secret that could hurt his game if it got out. And you got to understand, the reason why Blue Kim was so excited to vote out Izzy on Thursday night is because it got back to her that Izzy is the one who ran to Cory about Blue outing America. So America and Cory, I'm assuming, applied full court pressure on Blue right before the vote about what Izzy did, which hurt Blue's game as well. Because of that, Blue now knows that Jarrett knew of alliances that he didn't share with her. So now Blue, she doesn't fully trust Jarrett the same. Hence why Blue is more so playing for herself, not necessarily playing for the Showmance the same way. Now, I do believe Blue still has Jarrett's back to a degree, but I think she has her back the most, and rightfully so. But yeah, Jarrett, he created a new alliance this weekend with Cirie, Blue, and Matt. It's like a sub-alliance, basically, of the said 7 deadly sins that still remain, minus Izzy. Smart gameplay, in my honest opinion. I think Jarrett was wise to do that because Matt and Blue actually do believe that alliance is real because there's no Izzy anymore. That's important because I think that will keep Blue on side. And if Blue were to win the double eviction HOH, I don't believe she targets Jarrett with it because of that alliance that was made with her. She at least feels like she's still in Jarrett's late game plans and Cirie's. I think that was important. And when Cirie approached Jarrett before the veto comp was played, she basically told him, hey, look, if Cameron wins the veto, I'm really concerned about your position in this house. Everyone just refuses to see me and you as being individual players. They see us as being a tandem. If you have to backdoor me, I want you to backdoor me. That way you can have a fair shot at this game. It was really heartbreaking to see a scene like that. Jarrett told her, Mama, I'd rather go out than sell you out. And that's some real talk. And I appreciated Jarrett saying that straight like that. Now, did he think about it? Yeah, he thought about it because his mom approached him with it. Of course, every son's going to at least think about it. But is he really going to do it? Not at all. And you got fans online, the same fans that were radio silent, scared to talk because of Mecole on the block. As soon as Cirie talks about touching the block to help Jarrett's game, now everyone all of a sudden want to start tweeting again. Cowards. 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 Any scenario that leads to someone black going home, you notice how they get a sensu bean, these fans. But once again, they're claiming they're not anti-black. Remember that. Well, needless to be said, after the veto comp was over and Jag won it, everyone had football pads on and stuff like that. Jarrett, he did what all great sons should do. He valued his mother's mental health above all else. He gave her his bathroom. After the veto comp, he allowed her to soak in the bath, gave her his HOH music to listen to, and for about an hour or so, she just soaked and was able to think about the game, had some time alone. And this is another reason why Jarrett's HOH win was so important, because it allows Cirie to have the time and the space to reset, right? And once Cirie has the time and the space to come up with something, Cirie can be deadly. My problem is, now that Izzy's gone, I just believe Cirie, she don't really care about this stuff no more. Like, she really don't. And I don't blame her, though, because the way this game has turned, it has turned into the Stone Age. If it wasn't for Jarrett holding it off, we would be full-blown in the Stone Age. Please believe that. Fans don't even respect the fact Jarrett held off the Stone Age because they wanted the Stone Age. The same fans who didn't want one side to dominate are literally rooting for one side to continue dominating by hoping Cory and America stay over Cameron. If that don't show you how fake these fans are. Last week they were nut-hugging Cameron, deep-throating him. Now all of a sudden they want him gone. Like, huh? And at the end of the day, if Cameron leaves this week, or if these players wisen up and take out Cory this week, no matter what, Jarrett can say he got out a big target. No matter what, can't nobody deny Jarrett takes out big players every time he wins a comp. No matter what, can't nobody deny that Jarrett came on this season to play. And another thing they can't deny is the idea that production did Jarrett a disservice by not giving him another black man to bounce ideas off of. If Jarrett had another black man, Cory is never given information all season. Cory is literally taken out by Heisem. But no one wants to hear that, because instead they'd rather hide behind their own privilege as they try to throw stones in their own glass houses. And that's what you need to know. So, at the end of the day, this igniting for Izzy, it needed to be put into ignition. I mean, fresh and straight out the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Coach, it was so dope to see Izzy jump on Twitter and show some support and some solidarity for her girls. Understand, Izzy is doing well. Everyone is trying to create the narrative. Oh, Izzy's a sore loser because she pushed Cameron, because she called Cory a pipsqueak. And then you got Cory's brother. Well, actually, he's always been called a pipsqueak. It's quite an endearing nickname. Shut up. All right? We're not trying to hear it. We're not really trying to hear it, bro. At the end of the day, your brother looks like a goofball. And we know for a fact you only cared about the black woman because she made $1 million after Survivor. I'm willing to bet you Zach never dated a black woman before he got with Marianne. He won't admit that out loud. Understand, I've had enough of this grifting family. I've had enough of it. This fan base will cater and prop up and pander to two guys who both flop their seasons based off how they chose to play them. But then they'll hate on literally a black family that is one of the royal families in reality TV history. If that don't once again show you the problem, nothing else will. Because where did Zach finish on Survivor? But we got all these people trying to come at Cirie now. So Zach can get all of this grace, but Cirie gets none of it? That's once again quite the double standard. And you already know if he got the chance to play Big Brother, they wouldn't be hating on him like this. So you got to understand, all of this is playing a role in all of it. But I just love seeing Izzy show some support for her girls, y'all. I thought it was really dope.
My girls are studying.
They're studying.
The veto was Heisel.
Let's go.
It was Atomic Wedgie.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I just love to see Izzy, man. You know, Izzy, she went far too soon. I could see it on Julie Chen's face on Thursday night. She was sad to see Izzy go. Because Julie Chen knew Izzy was a unique archetype we'll never see before. We'll always see the Corys of this world, the Applebees of this world that just use flirting and white girl crying techniques to get further. Or in Cory's case, they just hide because they're cowards and they're nerdy. And then they just skate by. And then all of a sudden they get comps that benefit their wheelhouse. We'll never see a player like Izzy again. Because once again, fans weren't shown that you will be rewarded for being pro-black as a non-black player. So the next Izzy that comes around is probably not going to be like Izzy. And at the end of the day, that is truly the true L of everything that has transpired. But pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, those were my thoughts on what's going down in these streets. Currently, Jag holds the veto. Jag is currently in an alliance with Cory, with Bowie, with Matt, all right, and, of course, Applebees. So he has all the incentive in the world to use veto on one of those two to keep up appearances with his new formed alliance last week. If Jag is truly smart, he keeps noms the same because Cory is the bigger threat to Jag's game. Cory clearly is threatened by Jag's relationship with Applebees. If he allows Cory to go, Applebees has nobody she can truly work with besides Jag or possibly Cameron. In my opinion, for Jag's game, he should want Cory gone, force Applebees to cling to Cameron. That turns Applebees and Cameron into the threats during the double. Jag makes it through the double. Also, Cameron is a clear shield for Jag. As long as Cameron is around, Jag won't be targeted by other people. Now, I get it. As long as Cameron's around, Cameron could target Jag. But I also believe as long as Jarrett's around, Cameron could target Jarrett before Jag. This is why, for Jag and Matt, they need to prioritize Jarrett and Cameron both making jury. The same way, in my opinion, Tiffany, she needed DX and Christian to make jury if she wanted to win that season. In my opinion, they need both Cameron and Jarrett to make jury. Cory is the one, if you allow him to skate by out of this week, it'll be the same narrative of allowing Izzy to skate by. And at the end of the day, this is where the ball is now in your court, Cameron. You have all day today to pitch your game to Jarrett. You have all day today, because at the end of the day, it don't matter what Jag does. It's all about who Jarrett replaces whoever Jag uses veto on. And in my opinion, it benefits Jag 100% to use the veto on America over Cory, because he is closer to America over Cory. And let's be real, America, she can't handle the block. Her gameplay does not work on the block because she does way too much scrambling, way too much gossiping. The minute she touches the block, all she want to do is lay down, get on her back, and help Cory bust a few weasel nuts. You feeling me? A few whistle nuts. I saw more chemistry with Christmas Rousey and Whistle Nut than I'm seeing out of Apple Cory. I tell you that much. All right, let's keep it a bean in here. Let's keep it bean out here. Even these jokes coming through clutch like the Black Mamba. But understand, the ball is now in your court, Cameron. You love talking about sports. Well, now the ball is definitely in your court. It's check-up time, all right? It's game point time, huh? Make it, take it. At this point, and see, Cameron did a good job of pitching himself to Jarrett before the veto comp. He said, hey, man, you keep me off the block this week, I'll promise to keep you safe next week, and I'll keep Blue Kim safe. That's not good enough for Jarrett, though. You got to promise Cirie and Blue safety. You do that, Cameron, you will avoid the block this week, my guy, in my honest opinion. But the problem is, because we are igniting for Izzy and because we so badly
want the smoke.
Because we want that smoke so badly, it's going to be very hard for Cameron to survive this week. But here's the thing, though. What I'm rooting for is, even if Cameron does touch the block, I would love to see Cameron versus Cory on the block, because that forces Cameron to do whatever it takes to stay. And if that forces him to do whatever it takes to stay, Cameron can completely bury Cory's game. Because let's be real. As long as Jag doesn't use veto on Cory, Cory can still go home. And in my opinion, Cory leaving is the best play, not just because I'm black, but because it is unequivocally the best play. Take him out. Make him pay for thinking he could talk that big of stuff, especially with his small stature. Let him know. And see, if y'all want to make sure every non-black person don't work with black people like Izzy did, make sure you let all the nerds know, all the future nerds know, the millions and millions, let them know that they will be sent to the shadow realm if they engage in any anti-black tomfoolery. That's what we need to set a new precedent. That's what we need to do. And honestly, Cameron, I believe you deserve jury more than that little pompous rat. I think you deserve it. I think you 100% deserve it. Black fans believe you deserve it too. I have never seen so many fans saying, hey, Jared needs to take the deal with Cameron. Everyone sees it. With the double coming up, everyone sees Cameron is one of the only other targets that would go home before Jared. But the way this game is so anti-black, I still believe Jared would go home before Cameron. Are you serious? 4 black people still in the house? Ain't that many people that threatened by Cameron. All of them just worked with him a week ago. So in a theory, it really is no difference for Jared, and that's why I won't blame Jared if he just takes Cameron out and says, hey, this is for Izzy. You tried to come for my mom. What's poppin'? I'm not mad at that either. So understand, even though I prefer Cory leaving, I see the logic in why Cameron needs to go too. All right? All we can do as black fans is hope if Cameron goes home, Mimi or Felicia or Cirie back up this win with another one. We need it badly. It's time for one of y'all to step up. Felicia's already stepped up, to be fair. Mimi, we need you. It's time to step up a little bit here. 100%. And by the way, Felicia and Mimi now have a final 2 deal in principle with each other. Important. They no longer trust Jared and Cirie as much as they did before. They believe this was more so BB23 with a cookout. They couldn't fathom the idea that they would possibly keep Izzy over Felicia. But once again, Izzy knowing about the secret of Jared and Cirie, it forced their hand into having to keep her no matter what all week. They could never entertain the idea of keeping Felicia outside of straight up lies. That's just the truth there. And when they get out the house, Felicia and Mimi will understand even further why that happened the way it did. But all we can do as black fans hope that they can come back together and they can reconcile, because at the end of the day, after the week that just transpired, they all know they're at the bottom of this game currently, so it doesn't even behoove Felicia or Mimi to work with other people over them. Matter of fact, this is the one time where you need to get stronger than ever, because now Jared and Cirie, they may have been humbled a bit, and now they're willing to actually buy that they need you more. This isn't the time to abandon them. This is the time to make a move alongside them. But yeah, so all day today, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm rooting for is for Cameron to throw one of the greatest Hail Marys since Dan's funeral. What I'm rooting for tonight is for Cameron to realize all day today, before the veto ceremony tomorrow afternoon, I'm hoping that Cameron understands at this point it is literally him versus Cory in America. He needs to push the narrative that Cory and America are in a showmance, therefore they should be split up before he should be taken out. That is his only win condition at this point to make it to the double eviction. And hopefully I've done a fantastic job of explaining things from a black perspective, from a high frequency strategic perspective, and from a expose the double standards because these stands are erratic perspective. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, I would have loved to deliver this in a live stream type format tonight, but I found out that the episode won't air until really late tonight on Sunday. I blame it on 60 Minutes. I blame it on football. I blame it on golf. But at the end of the day, Coach, at least y'all got the rant a little bit earlier, so that can't be a L. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and comment underneath it and share it with all of the fans of Big Brother 25 that you rock with. But most importantly, give me your thoughts. Are you impressed by Jared's HOH win? Are you at all surprised that these fans once again are trying to take away from this black man's greatness while they try to justify the greatness of players that can't even buy a comp win? It's hilarious to me. When Jared was this social butterfly playing a great social game, not winning comps, they didn't give him any credit for his social game and talked about why he couldn't win anything. Now that he's winning things and his social game has taken a hit, now all they care about is social game again because their awkward little golden boy and golden girl now are running the social side. It's hilarious to me. They move the goalpost every time while claiming to not be who they really are. We see through it. And now the narrative is, because we see through it, we must have something mentally unstable about us. I mean, listen, it's funny who becomes the ableist when their back is against the wall. It sure ain't the black fans. And that in itself tells the real story. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all again for another rant on the flip side, alright? Deuces. Cory, you better pray to the heavens that Cameron doesn't see what needs to be implemented to get you sent to the shadow realm. This is for Izzy.